I have made many mistakes in my life, and this is surely one of them, because I let Adam make decisions, and here we are. We posed to you the do you have any questions question? And lo and behold, you fucking did. And some of them are good questions, some of them are not. So now I'm going to be stuck behind this desk for 17 and a half hours answering these queries. Now before we get into it, there's two little details. One, if you forgot to ask me questions or just didn't spot it, you can always just comment below and ask questions. And two, please do subscribe to whatever channel you're on. If you're on Instagram, like and subscribe, or follow, or whatever the fuck it's called. YouTube, like and subscribe. Comment below and all these things. TikTok, same thing. You can probably subscribe or like or follow or whatever the fuck happens with social media these days. You're here already and you're here for a fucking reason. So, follow for fuck's sakes. Question number 1.
Okay. El Costi asks, any chance of you coming to the US for a tattoo tour? Miami is gorgeous this time of year.
No. I'm not coming to the States to tattoo. If I'm coming to the States to see my friends and laugh at your socio-economic situation. Sorry, that one was below the belt. There's many things I like about the US, but working over there is not really one of them. I used to travel more when life was different, but now life is very much work in my studio and family life. And none of those two things includes traveling around the US to decorate people. My clients tend to come to me because then they can be in my wonderful studio environment and I can work with full focus with the extra pair of hands that Matt Bone upstairs offers me, and therefore, no, I will not travel to the US to tattoo. I'm also not going to travel to any other place to tattoo, by the way. Like, it's just, yeah, it's not my thing. It stresses me out working in other people's studios. Then again, traveling stresses me out too, because people.
Who's the Farah 8 asks, why do you only tattoo people over the age of 21?
Oh, why do I only tattoo people over the age of 21? I would prefer to tattoo only people over the age of 30, to be honest. But that feels a little bit non-inclusive. So, the reason in Denmark you're allowed to get tattooed from the age of 18, even though a lot of people think that's from the age of 16. 18-year-olds tend to be quite daft and have bad ideas for their tattoos. If I had gotten the chance to get tattooed when I was 18, which I didn't because I didn't have any money, because I squatted and lived in squalor in weird places, I would have gone for the George Clooney Dusk Till Dawn hand to neck tribal, right? And while it was cool at the time, it would not have been a good decision. It might have sped up the process of me becoming a tattoo artist, or possibly something else. I don't know, drug dealer, who knows? It didn't happen, neither of those things, luckily. But it does prove that letting 18-year-olds make decisions about permanent body decorations isn't necessarily a good thing. It's more difficult to deal with people that age. And it doesn't always matter that they've made it to the age of 21. Some 21-year-olds are still bumbling fools. How old are you?
23.
Oh, okay.
I think. How old? Am I 20?
Okay, Adam's
22.
And clearly
22.
a bumbling fool. 22 and a bumbling fool. But, well, you proved my point pretty well by not remembering your own age, so thank you. Age doesn't necessarily matter, but it does rule out a fair percentage of emails that I can't really be bothered to have to deal with. So it's just a general rule of thumb. Within the last many years of my career, I have tattooed a few people under the age of 21. They have been family members and the son of one of my old, really good friends and former bosses, whom I have known since he was like 7. The rest of you, just wait a few years. Write down what it is that you want tattooed on a piece of paper, put it in a drawer, and then 3 years later, or 2 years later, whatever the fuck, if you still remember what drawer you put it in, that's a good sign too. Have a look at it, see if you still want it tattooed, and if you do, then go for it. If you don't, that was a mistake, it was a bad idea, and I just saved you a lot of money on laser treatment.
Paul Skelding asks, have you ever travelled to Scandinavia?
Okay, jeg kan svare på den but dansk til at starte med. Det er et vildt godt spørgsmål. Jeg har rejst i Scandinavia ret meget. Let's change in English just to be practical. Yeah, I've traveled to Scandinavia. I was born in Scandinavia. I've traveled extensively in Norway and Sweden. Not made it to Finland yet. I have a fear of lakes, so I've not gone there. That's not true. I have a fear of Finnish people, which is partly true because you're all fucking weird. No, I'm Scandinavian, so yeah, I've traveled there. Thank you.
Lauren Bryant asks, what is your favourite book?
Wow, that's a really difficult question to answer. I think we might make a blog post about this at some point because like what's my 10 favourite books might be a better thing and I can try to outline it. Oh god, I've got so many favourites, so many different authors for so many different reasons. The one that pops to mind immediately, which is a book that I return to quite often, I've read it many times, is Neil Gaiman's The Neverwhere. Because I mean it's close to home. It's like a pseudo-real world. Gaiman's writing is absolutely fantastic, and it's sort of an easy read. I read a lot of heavy and weird fantasy and like just up pillars, up and down, and slow and boring shit. And sometimes it's nice to just open a book that's easily digestible. And Neverwhere is, but it is still deep, complicated, beautiful. A lot about human nature. It's just a really good book. So that one in particular I would like to highlight.
Chris Taylor, what tattoo are you most proud of and why?
I mean, I recently finished Brad's bodysuit, which is not entirely true because it's never finished, but I'm very proud of that piece because it is it's an epic tale woven onto a man's body. I love doing it, but in pure skill and madness, I would highlight the armor of worms, which look like this. Don't know if Adam's gonna bother to put the picture in there, but
I don't know how to do that.
Oh fuck. Okay, well, that's gonna be embarrassing. Magic doesn't work, really. Sorry kids, Santa is not real either. No, the armor of worms, I'd like to highlight it because I was much younger when I did it. Like it's many years ago that I did that tattoo. It felt like a pioneering piece of art, and I did it perfectly, which is a fucking bold thing to say, but I hand drew the Bora style pattern from wrist to neckline, across chest and back to make it all fit on this guy, Marcin, from Poland. Amazing client, and made these Unis style dragons on it, and it's perfectly balanced, perfectly symmetrical, and everything was so extensive to do. And the fact that I had the patience to do it at that time in my life and that he had the patience to put up with it was phenomenal. And I never want to do anything like it again. Nowadays, I'm very willing to do balance pieces, but symmetry like that, fuck no. I've actually lost that level of patience. But that particular tattoo, I am very proud of it. Just a note, I'm very proud of every tattoo that I do and finish, and as they walk out of my studio, I'm always filled with gratitude that I have such amazing clients that let me decorate them with such insane things. People pay me money to scribble things on them, so I do my very best, and I'm proud of every one of those tattoos.
Defa DeVille asks, what's your favourite dinosaur, brother?
My favourite dinosaur is the one that honks.
May?
Sorry?
Dinosaur that honks?
That honks?
The one that has a horn built into its head.
Oh, what are they called? Wait, give me 1 sec.
I'm googling it.
Looks like a duck.
Yeah, favourite dinosaur. At the moment, it changes. It is a Parasaurolophus because it looks like a duck that can honk out of its head, which is quite cool.
Been very excited to ask you that question.
Why did you expect that I didn't know what my favourite
No,
dinosaur
we all expected that you'd have a favourite dinosaur, and we knew it wouldn't be one of the basic bitches, like a T-Rex or a
basic bitch.
like a Triceratops. Like, we knew you'd have one.
I do like myself a good Triceratops, but some of the other Cytopses are fucking cool. Like, imagine just walking around with a shield and 40 horns on your head.
Maybe we should make a video about that.
It's like a siege engine.
What books do you recommend for new pagans?
Oh, God, fucking damn it! Go buy my art books. No, they're not. They're just for decorating yourself if you're a new pagan that wants some Nordic artwork. Right, The Viking Spirit is a good book that I read many years ago. So I'm just recommending it as a, I recall it being a good book. I would recommend that you read the Havamal because it's good. It's like the foundation of Nordic paganism. Now, paganism is a very broad term, so I can only speak from the whole Norse mythology kind of thing and from my own animistic point of view. But let's stick to the Norse mythology. Jackson Crawford, has written a version of the Havamal. He's got a YouTube channel as well. It's fucking good. He's well studied, well educated on this whole subject and matter. Check it out. He's also very good at pronouncing things the right way. It's a really good foundation to start with, and then of course Norse mythology in general is a wonderful thing. So if you're into audiobooks and stuff like that, Neil Gaiman wrote his own version of the Nordic mythology. I think it's called Norse mythology, which you can get as an audiobook. You can also buy it as a normal book, but it's narrated by himself, and it's good. I like his narrating myself. So those are three good spots to start in. I know it's not like advanced, weird, dark, esoteric corners of the world kind of books, but it's a good place to start.
What is the longest amount of time a client has had in between sessions?
Between sessions. So normally when I do a tattoo, I require that the tattoo gets finished within a year. So if someone starts a sleeve, I want it done within the year because my style changes a lot. But then people go on and all of a sudden end up with a bodysuit. So it can take quite a long time from start to finish. I mean, Brad again is a great example. I've worked on him for many, many years. And I've got quite a few clients that I've worked on for many, many years. But COVID did fuck up a few things for me when it came to planning. And I, on occasion, have clients that come back to have those last bits, shading, whatever, patterns, done on their tattoos now, which is like 5-6 years. And while I'm a little bit stubborn about not picking up the creative work on something that is to my mindset outdated, I know it needs to be done, and there is probably no one better at continuing my own work than myself. So I do that. 5-6 years, I think, is a loose estimate.
Is there any concept or design that you've always wanted to tattoo but never got the chance to do so?
Yes. Part of my brain, part of the workings of my autistic little brain is that I'm constantly drawing and coming up with concepts. So in my head there's several hundred designs just constantly rummaging around, and they've got their own little drawers, and sometimes I can open them and continue working on them, and stuff happens and they develop and become stranger and more extreme, and yeah, definitely there is, but there's none that I would like to highlight because trying to explain them is really fucking difficult. But they're all kind of bodysuit scale crazy things. Not Work Adventure Time bodysuit, that one, and a bodysuit based on Centaur World.
Have you tattooed darker skinned humans? And is there any difference between
Yes and
skins?
yes. Yes and yes. I have tattooed several clients with darker hues of skin, both just Caucasians with more olive skin from the Middle East and such, but also black-skinned, both Americans and Africans, a few Europeans, and yeah, there is a heavy difference. See, dark skin and higher levels of melanin, I think is the word for it, it makes changes in the skin. One, it tends to be sturdy but supple. Like it's really good to work on, but you have to be careful because it also develops keloided scars much easier. So when tattooing that kind of skin, I tend to be a little less harsh with my choice of needles and strength running on the machine and everything, just to make sure that they don't get raised tattoos. And then there's of course how to make the tattoo stand out, a little bit more boldness. I generally work very boldly, but I try to aim for a little bit more contrast. Negative space doesn't work as well on dark skin, so again, the contrast is really important. And there's a trick that can be used where you mix red ink into the black, or use a red ink and add a little bit black to it instead of using black, because the way that our eyes work when we perceive this dark skin, basically we perceive the colors of the skin tone through several layers of skin, so we absorb reflections of light. And oh god, this is down a fucking tangent. But in dark skin, if you manage to pack dark red color in there, it looks more black than black does, which is fucking weird, but that is the way of it. So I tend to work a little bit in that way, if I can get away with it. The problem is that using color tends to be slower, so you know, I don't want people to be tormented economically just because they have darker skin. So no, there's ways around it. But yeah, to answer the question, yes and yes.
What's your favourite film?
My favourite film?
Film. Movie. Long TV show.
Stop laughing. My wife is broken. Are we done?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's too many to choose from. I do have like a mental top 10. I always like to pull out Fight Club because I loved the impact that it had on the world when it came out. I saw so many like toxic masculine morons walk in to watch it because they were expecting like a boxing movie, and they came out changed forever, completely mind confuzzled by Chuck Palahniuk's insane writing and doubting their own existence, and I really enjoyed that. That was fun, and I think it's a great observation of modern society. So yeah, that one's good. I know that people are wishing for me to mention like a Viking film or something like that, which we can do a whole blog post about. To all of you out there living in the now, The Northman is really great on that genre. And those of you who were born after the 90s and missed this movie, go watch The 13th Warrior. It's absolutely shit, but also really cool. So worth a watch, and don't watch it for historical accuracy, but then again, don't watch anything for historical accuracy. So yeah, thank you for watching this load of nonsense. It's been fun to record it. If you have more questions, add them below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, press the ring bell button or whatever, get notifications, all of that stuff. And this episode was sponsored by northernblack.shop, where we sell all of the loot that we create, good books and stuff like that. So go over there and shop a bit, and fuck off.